Now let's learn how to actually get to this screen in our calculator. There are a few steps to it. Step number 1, we need to make sure that when we're putting all of this in, it's going to show us our correlation coefficient. So what we're going to do is in our TI-84, we're going to hit second, so the blue button in the top left, and then we're going to hit 0 to get to the catalog. And then we're going to go to this x to the negative 1 button. We get to x to the negative 1. That takes us down to the letter D. And we're going to use our down arrow until we get to diagnostic on. So we're going to have to go down a few times. Diagnostic on. Then we're going to hit enter twice. Enter, enter. So now it says it's done. So now we can move on to the next step. Now we're going to go to stat, which is next to our arrow buttons. We're going to hit enter because we want to be on edit. Then we're going to see L1 and L2. These are the two places that we're going to make our list of the data that we are given. So let's practice that. So here's our example. The number of sharks and swimmers at the Swim at Your Own Risk Beach Club were tabulated on consecutive days as shown. We're going to use this top row as list 1 and the bottom row as list 2. So we're going to put all of these numbers that are on top in list 1 in our calculator. We're going to put all of these numbers in list 2. So let's do that. We've got 0, hit enter, 50, enter, 100, enter, and 210. Then we can hit the right arrow and make list 2. Now that we have everything in our lists, we're going to hit stat, go to the right till we get to calc, go to number 4, and then hit enter. So here's what that looks like. Stat, go to calc, then go to number 4. You can just hit 4 or you can hit the down arrow until you get to 4, and then we're going to hit enter until it says that it's complete. And here's that screen that I was talking about earlier. We've got our A, B, R squared, and R, so we can use this information to make our equation. So we're going to use A and B to write our equation. We've got y equals our correlation coefficient, the R value, not R squared. R is negative 0.990 when you round it. So now we can say, okay, if there are 500 swimmers, how many sharks are there? If there are 600 swimmers, how many sharks are there? L1, those were our x values, and L2, those were our y values. So if we know we have 500 swimmers, we're going to plug 500 in for x in our line of regression. So we've got y equals negative 0.632 times 500 plus 588.070. So that's our equation. That's something that we can just type into the calculator. And we get 272.07, but there can't be 0.07 of a shark. So we're just going to call it 272 sharks. Now what if there are 600 swimmers? We'll do the same thing. And with that, we get 208.87, and again, we can't have 0.87 of a shark, so we haven't quite reached 209. That means we're only still at 208 full entire sharks. Number 8 says, how many swimmers do you need to be sure there are no sharks? So we want there to be 0 sharks, and we're looking for the number of swimmers. So here we know the y value is 0. We don't know the x value. So we need to get x by itself. I'm going to start by subtracting 588. So negative 588. And then we can divide by that coefficient. And we get 930.49, but we can't have 0.49 of a person, so we have 930 swimmers. Number 9 says, what is the slope? So remember, this is already in slope-intercept form, Our slope is the coefficient that's stuck to x. So the slope here is negative 0.632. And the y-intercept is the constant that's at the end if it's in slope-intercept form. So our y-intercept here is 588.070. And that's how we interpret this data.